Welcome to Fear and Greed Sunday feature. I'm Michael Thompson. This week we are going right back into the Fear and Greed archives, way back to 2020, which was our first year. In September of 2020, Sean Aylmer spoke with entrepreneur Jessica Sepel. Now, at the time, Jessica was just 31 years old, and 2 years earlier, she had launched her vitamins business, JSHealth. Now, if you want to hear a spectacular growth story, I think a spectacular success story overall, then listen to this interview, because this business was launched in 2018. We spoke to Jessica in 2020, and 1 year later, in 2021, that business was reportedly valued at close to $600 million. This week, JS Health turned 6, so I thought it's a good opportunity to go back to September 2020 and hear, in Jessica's own words, how she used her online presence and community to turbocharge her company's growth. It is a great story, a great interview by Sean Aylmer. I hope you enjoy it.
This morning we're talking to Jessica Sepel, a nutritionist and author turned entrepreneur who's created a multi-million-dollar health business. It is only 31 years of age. Her company JS Health was named in the top 150 fastest growing tech businesses by Deloitte, and sales have tripled during COVID-19. Good morning, Jessica.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me, explain your background. Before we get to JS Health, your business, tell me a little about yourself first.
Yeah, so I'm originally South African, and when I was 13, I immigrated from South Africa to Australia and was brought up in Sydney in the eastern suburbs. And after school, I went off to study a Bachelor of Health at Macquarie University, and then I did 2 years of nutritional medicine after that. I did a few years of private practice as a nutritionist, and then I created JS Health very organically. Kind of was an accident, actually.
So tell us that story. Well, first I'd like to say you are the first South African I have met who has lost their accent totally.
Oh, that's such good news.
I don't know. It's neither good nor bad. It just is.
That's honestly a compliment. Thank you.
So just tell me a little bit about the creation of the business, JS Health.
Yeah, so I always say it was an accident, probably a blessing now that I think about it. I was just blogging about my own personal health journey while I was studying health and nutrition. So I had a really unhealthy relationship with food, really struggled with dieting, bad dieting, body image issues, had a really, really complicated and unhealthy relationship with food and my body. And this went on for about, from the age of 14 to at least the age of 20. And then during my studies, I started blogging about my transition and my quest to finding or discovering a healthier relationship with food and my body. And that's really how JS Health began as a blog. And back then, blogs actually weren't such a big trendy thing. And the health industry wasn't trending either. This was 10 years ago, just before it started getting exciting for people and getting the hype that it is now. And so I started blogging about my journey. So it was really good timing. And for some crazy reason, thousands of women discovered the blog. There was no Instagram at the time. There was just Facebook. And I really used the blog as a way to get clients when I was going to be going into private practice as a nutritionist. And I was just also discovering healthy recipes that were inspiring me, and I was adding those to the blog. And that's really how the JS Health community was created. And people started loving my philosophy and my journey and my honesty. And that's when the JS Health community was born, which then led on to an ebook, and the ebook had a significant amount of success, and that's when publishers started approaching me for my first book deal.
So really it's a Facebook community originally?
I don't know if it was a Facebook community. It really was, a blog community, and blogs were trending probably about, 10 years ago, when blogs were a thing. And I created a health blog just because I wanted to start journaling. It really was a journal for myself. And in fact, it was private for 5 months. I was just talking about openly in a very vulnerable way about my relationship with food, how unhealthy it become, and how desperate I was to become a healthy, balanced eater and give up fad dieting, because I was really caught up in this toxic cycle of fad dieting and binge eating and emotional eating. And then I was starting to really heal and transition during my health studies. And It really was the blog that was gaining the attention. Facebook might have been one of the platforms that helped other people discover the blog. But no, I would say more it was the blog community.
So the blog itself was literally a website?
Literally a website. It was called, blogspot.com.
Yep.
It was like the original platform for blogs. Yeah. Wasn't even WordPress, nothing fancy. If you were to look at it now, I would not want to look at it. It would have.
And so you struck a chord with particularly women of all ages, or what was the response like?
I think it was pretty much from the age of, 16 to 50 or 60, because really everyone in that age bracket is struggling with their relationship with food and their body in some way. So much pressure to look a certain way these days, especially for teenagers. And, I have a really special place in my heart for teenagers, because that's when I started discovering fad dieting. And that's when I developed a really unhealthy relationship with food and my body. But then it really continues on into your 30s and 40s and 50s. I mean, I know lots of women in their 50s who are still fad dieting. And the problem with fad diets is that it's just a never-ending toxic cycle, because really the science does show that diets do not work in the long term.
You talk about the relationship with food, which is a phrase I don't think I've ever heard or I don't think about. Why do you say a relationship with food?
Well, because food is such a big part of our lives, and, women have developed this relationship or complicated relationship with food because we can use food in an unhealthy way. So, for me as a fad dieter, I was actually obsessed with being thin. Being thin actually became my goal in life. So I would restrict my food intake to be able to get to that weight. So I think having a healthy relationship with food means being truly balanced with food, eating all the right foods, and having positive emotions towards your eating experience. I, on the other hand, was feeling guilty towards food. I was restricting my food intake. I was depriving myself of food. I wasn't eating all the right macronutrients for my body to thrive. It probably is more common amongst women to have developed this unhealthy relationship with food, usually as a means to control your weight.
Yeah.
Or to numb some sort of body image issues.
So the blog took off. When did you realize you had a business?
Oh, only very recently. So I started my blog about 7 to 8 years ago. Then I went off to practice as a private nutritionist. And then, my first book was launched with great success. And that still there was no business really there. You make nice money as an author, but not really maybe as much as people would think.
Yep.
And then my goal in life was always to be a really good nutritionist in private practice. That's as far as my ambition could be. I created a 8-week program, and that's when I noticed there could be a business, because the 8-week program was this 8-week guide to help women truly discover the healthy life in a wholesome, balanced way. And that's really when the business began. So that was about 4 years ago. That had a significant amount of success. And then the 8-week program allowed me to create an app. And then the money from the app allowed me to create a product range, which is now the JSHealth vitamin range.
How did you actually start earning revenue? Was it the 8-week people would subscribe to the 8-week course?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes, it was either $18 a week or $150 for that 8-week experience. It really was my philosophy embedded in an 8-week plan and contained all of my go-to recipes to live a healthy life. So by that stage, my philosophy was really quite well known because of my books and because of the blog and because of the JSHealth community, which is this, incredible community of women who really believe and support the JSHealth philosophy.
So how did you attract people to that?
Definitely social media.
Right, so explain that.
Yeah, so as I said, I had my blog. That was the first platform. Then I created a Facebook page. Then I created a special community page for the JSHealth ambassadors and the JSHealth girls. And then Instagram was developed and created. And that's really where, I could really communicate with the JSHealth community from around the world. So on social media, I would upload my recipes, my philosophy. I was able to show off my products like the books, the program, the app, and now the vitamins. So social media, absolutely. I mean, we are a very, very new and interesting business because it's all been built through social media and it's a completely almost 90% online business.
But which platform worked best?
Definitely Instagram.
Right. Why is that?
I think, it's a really beautiful place to come to find health inspiration. People just want that quick and easy way to find a healthy recipe. I see Instagram as an inspirational device or platform where you can come and just discover, I guess, healthy platforms, healthy recipes, healthy philosophies, fitness inspiration that will inspire you to live a healthy life. So it's a really quick way of inspiring yourself to live a healthier life.
Now, as you're marketing, and I'm just sort of interested because you have been very successful in your genre, for want of a better term, how do you keep up? My kids don't use Instagram like they used to use Instagram, I've got to say.
Is it TikTok now?
It's certainly TikTok now. How do you keep up knowing where to be?
To be honest with you, I think my success it lies in the fact that I've never actually changed my philosophy, or I have had a very, very strong message the whole time that has not changed. I just haven't felt the need to keep changing and keep evolving too much. I've kept it quite simple and quite traditional. Like, for example, TikTok is for a much younger generation. It's not really my audience. It's not something I feel very comfortable using, and therefore I don't use it. But it's actually not such a bad thing, because that's really, I am, really the JSHealth girl. It's my age. It's my,
Yep.
I guess, my bracket. So I have just stayed true to the platforms that have worked for us until now.
Do you use Google at all?
Yes, of course. And we do lots of paid ads as well via Google and Facebook.
Yeah. And do you use influencers?
We do use influencers, but we're very, very fortunate because influencers and celebrities come to us.
Right.
They are obsessed with our products. They take our products. They genuinely take our products, and they genuinely get results using our products. So we definitely do work with some influencers and celebrities, but honestly, 95% of the time it's because they've come to us and they want to work with us because they use the product. We're very, very careful because JSHealth was built upon a very, very genuine, authentic philosophy. And as a founder, I'm very, very cautious about maintaining that. So I will only work with people who genuinely love and use the JSHealth philosophy or the products.
So before we get to that, I just want to ask about reviews as well, because Fear and Greed reviews are really important to us, and 5-star ratings on Apple as a podcast are incredibly important. You have a lot, I'm saying 10,000 reviews, thereabouts. How important are they?
Yeah, so those are more important for me than any celebrity or influencer using our products. They are the everyday person who is absolutely noticing a change and transformation by using our products. And that is, for me, everything. Like, for me to go onto our website every day and see our reviews jump up by hundreds and hundreds every single day, you have to remember this company's only been alive for 2 and a bit years. So to see 10,000 reviews, they go through a verified company. So they're 100% obviously genuine and verified and legitimate. That to me is really where the power lies, because I'm now the product developer in JSHealth. That's really my main role. And so to create products that can genuinely help people is the best feeling in the world. And so if you head onto our website and just take a look at those 10,000 reviews, it's pretty mind-blowing, because we don't ask them, to leave those sorts of messages.
When I'm on your website, it actually tells me when someone's just bought a product. And it's incredible how when you just keep seeing people buying products off your website, it plays with the mind. You think, I should go down that little burrow to have a look at why they've bought that product. And I actually thought it was a really smart thing to do.
Oh, thank you. Well, we do sell our best-selling hair product every 27 seconds. So.
There you go. So what are the products exactly that you're selling now, and services and products?
We actually just launched our first inner beauty powder that contains a science-backed marine collagen. So it's a health powder that can help with energy, gut health, skin health, hair health, and overall vitality. But our best sellers are our hair growth vitamin, has a very, very special science-backed help in it. We have a skin and digestion, because as a nutritionist, I've always believed in the incredible link between our skin and our gut. So that's another bestseller. And actually a surprising, not so surprising bestseller is our detox and de-bloat. So really shows me that people are struggling with bloating. And that's been a huge part of JSHealth, is that I have had the best focus group in the world, because I have 300,000 plus people on Instagram who tell me what they're struggling with, and I create products based on them and based on what they've asked me for and based on what they're struggling with. And also, thanks to my few years practicing as a nutritionist, I was able to see what women were really, really struggling with. So every single product has been developed and created because of someone telling me that they're struggling with a specific, or many people telling me that they're struggling with something specific, like hair thinning or bloating or skin issues, acne, eczema, and then we will go and create a product based on that.
Are women mostly the people who buy your range?
So our audience is definitely predominantly women, but we are going to be headed off into engaging the male market with a hair and libido product.
Right. How do you pick those?
But honestly, of course, men can take all of our products. They love our protein. They love our AMPM formula, which is really designed for that corporate worker who's dealing with stress and energy fatigue and needs immune support, and then also needs the sleep and calm support. So it's an all-in-one. You take one, there's a morning formula and night formula. So there are great products for men.
I suppose libido products is interesting. Like, how do you choose that?
So every single ingredient that goes into the JSHealth vitamins has to be research backed. So I will not put an ingredient in there unless there's traditional research to support it. So when I decided I want to start, entering the male market, the two things that popped up in my mind as two common issues or things that men are struggling with is hair thinning or balding and libido. Yeah. So I will then come together with my team of health experts. I work with scientists and biochemists and nutritionists. And then we look at the ingredients that have the research to support better libido or better hair growth. Yeah. And we will create a product based on that.
And finally, so are you primarily selling to Australia? Though obviously you have quite an offshore community as well.
Definitely, predominantly Australia, but we now have teams in Asia and South Africa and the UK. So we're noticing a huge growth in the UK market, and we are very hopeful about the Asia market too.
Fantastic. Good luck with it all, Jessica. Thanks for talking to Fear and Greed.
Thank you for having me.
That was Jessica Sepel, founder of JSHealth.